You want to go for a drink?
It's Christmas. Everything's closed.
Sometimes, if things are closed, you just open them up.
This girl ended up in the hands of the Vorifasakoni. Do you know what that means?
How did you get in here?
There are always open doors.
He wants the diary.
My son Kyrillos mentioned many times.
I think he was threatening to harm the baby.
If the diary should find its way to the police.
Okay, boss. You don't have to worry. Police won't find anything.
She was 14, just a child.
Forget any of this ever happened. Stay away from people like me.
But you've read the diary. How can you keep doing what you're doing?
I decide what's right and what's wrong. You can't afford to be careless in any area.
I need to know who you are.
Show some respect.
This is respect.
David Cronenberg. I mean, not to give him a little extra favoritism because he's Canadian and stuff, but he is one of the most interesting directors that our country has ever produced, and he's still making movies, and I'm here for it. He kind of went through a phase of movies later in his career where he was working a lot with Viggo Mortensen, and I think much the best of that phase was the History of Violence.
A History of Violence, yeah.
And it is an amazing movie, and it kind of outshines, the Eastern Promises, and what was the one where he played the shrink? Something Method?
Dangerous Method.
Dangerous Method,
yeah.
Thank you. I think they were all appreciated, but none of them were really embraced in the way that A History of Violence was. I kind of get why Eastern Promises wasn't as big a crowd pleaser, in that it doesn't have that satisfying revenge angle going to it, and in the way it really lives in its ugliness. These are Russian gangsters, and they cut each other's throats, and the movie seems to enjoy finding new and disgusting ways for us to watch people get their throats cut. And Naomi Watts, fantastic actress, is in possession of this baby. The mother died in her emergency room, and she wants to know what happened to her, and she ends up in the possession of this journal that she needs to get translated, but it has some information, some delicate information, and it gets her sort of enveloped in the world of the Russian mafia. And the mood and feel and world of that primarily Viggo Mortensen introduces us to is the vibe of the movie. And if you catch that vibe, you will enjoy it. But if you're about 20 minutes into this movie and you're just feeling ick, it's not going to change.
No. It might get worse for you.
It's going to ride this uncomfortable vibe all the way through the movie. And Cronenberg has a history of doing this. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it does buck me off. I'm not a Crash fan, There are times where it just goes too far off the map for me. This isn't one of those times. I do think that the movie does work. If someone was to tell me that it wasn't directed by David Cronenberg, I would believe it, though. Yes. It doesn't have the same feel that a lot of the Cronenberg movies do. There's this patient consideration. This one is definitely playing up the thriller, grainy, rainy, 7-ish aspects of the movie. It's more felt than it's sort of like this lecture. And there is body horror in it, obviously, but it's mainly about the horrible position these people are unknowingly putting themselves in, mainly Naomi Watts. And the deeper she gets into it, the more this is going to end with her throat being slit, right? There's no way in this world, as dark as it is, that she's going to be able to navigate her way out of it. So it puts you in a position of expecting it to go to the darkest possible place, which is both a win and a loss for the movie. In some places, it'll just shake people off. And then in other people say, well, it kind of lost its guts. It didn't see it through. It does kind of give you the ending that you expect.
In a way, yeah.
But it's all these little pieces on the way. Just the dourness of the ugliness of it. The way that we're kind of charmed by Armin Mueller-Stahl's, he's the head of the gangsters, but he's got this weird pleasantness about the way he does business.
He's a family restaurant owner in London. I mean, and even the London location is a little bit different for Cronenberg.
Yeah,
for sure.
It does feel different. I don't mean necessarily negative, but it doesn't jump out to me as a Cronenberg feeling movie when I step in.
Well, even with kind of the Russian end of Michael Cimino, who we talked about. If you told me Michael Cimino at a certain point had directed this,
sure,
I might have. The family aspect, which he kind of introduces in Deer Hunter and Heaven's Gate and some of these movies, some of that I could almost believe that he was behind it. But it was an interesting little stretch of time. And again, these were a little bit more Oscar bait movies from Cronenberg, who
they felt more mainstream, I guess.
Yeah, it really did. And I mean, Viggo Mortensen got a Best Actor nomination for A History of Violence, and then Eastern Promises was nominated for its terrific screenplay, which, again, the more I see it, the more I appreciate how good that screenplay is and some of the details. Again, one of the themes almost with this episode is the rewatchability of these movies, and you will get different things when even if you know what's going to happen, you'll pick up on the subtext and all the details, and they're brilliant.
Scenes that you weren't sure about before make more sense when you revisit them.
They sure do, and the relationships in those pieces. I actually prefer Eastern Promises over A History of Violence, believe it or not, even though one of my favorite sequences in any David Cronenberg film is that scene with the late, great William Hurt and Viggo Mortensen towards the end of that film.
Maria Bello in that movie.
Maria Bello was fantastic, dude. To me, I think I like the performances, the promise at the beginning of the film, and the performances more than I ultimately loved the screenplay. And it wasn't a bad screenplay, but just if I'm comparing the two, maybe you're more comfortable rewatching A History of Violence, but Eastern Promises has stayed with me. I had a big reaction to it when it first came out. I thought this is going to get all the Oscar nominations. It didn't really happen, probably because it was so bleak and so dark. Armin Mueller-Stahl is the low-key MVP of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love that guy.
He's terrible, but we weirdly...
I believe him.
Are disarmed by him.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I've met people like him. There's the public face, and there's the man of the community and the positive leader of this particular ethnic group in London. But he's one of the most dangerous people, and if you cross him, or he's he suddenly shows up at the hospital where she works and is in the room with the baby, that he knows everything that is happening from the beginning, the dark information that we're going to get from this diary as it's revealed, which I don't feel like I want to spoil necessarily in this review.
This is not as viewed a movie for some reason.
No, not as many people have seen it. But I do have to hand it to Viggo Mortensen. There aren't many actors that I know of that would have a totally naked knife fight.
Yeah.
This huge setup has happened. It's very elaborate, and you get it a little bit more clearly what's happened with this in later viewings, and what Armin Mueller-Stahl, how he's
playing it.
Yeah, how he's responsible for through back channels why this attack happens. It's a brutal sequence. But oddly enough, it's compared to the throats being cut earlier in the film and stuff which I can believe is from a David Cronenberg film. The violence in there seems real and uncomfortable. You have no defense whatsoever.
It is a It is a traditional use of horror movie nudity.
Yes.
Why are women always naked or in the shower or getting out of the shower when they're attacked? Well, A, because we can see nudity, but B, because they're vulnerable. Mm-hmm. They're in a place where they should be safe, where they're comfortable having their clothes off. They're not expecting this. Whole place takes in a steam room, and I think he starts wearing a towel, but during the fight, the towel gets lost. And it is absolutely shocking. And it is the one scene of the movie where you go, oh, okay, this feels like something that Cronenberg would do.
Yeah, this is closer to NC-17.
It's pretty subversive, and it is pretty shocking. And it's impossible not to notice the nudity. It's like we talked about that scene in Shortcuts with Julianne Moore, having the argument with her husband. Like, it's not a sexual nudity. It's not like it's just, but you can't not see that she's naked. And to see such a big actor as Viggo Mortensen,
he's coming off of the Lord of the Rings movies where he's this big star.
This took literal balls to do this.
Yes, it did.
Like, he full Monty's it, and it's believable. It's a stressful scene. He doesn't, like, it's not designed to make him look good or impressive or sexually virile. Like, he's desperately trying to fight for his life.
Yeah.
And he's naked.
Again,
and when he gets slashed, we see the skin part. And he has to fight dirty, you know, and he has to do what he can to get out of the situation. And it is an incredibly memorable scene. It is sort of that scene of the movie. But that's what I'm talking about. This is how dark this movie is.
Yeah.
This is how it's not going to flinch at all. This is why I was all but expecting it to end in one of these noir, hella bleak ending ways. And it doesn't. It doesn't. It ends kind of in an open-ended way. So open-ended that there has been not unserious talk of a sequel.
Interesting.
It didn't make a ton of money, but it's kind of got this rolling respect going with it.
I think so. Yeah.
And Viggo really liked the character.
Yeah,
so who knows?
I mean, I'm not sure if I want that or not. I'd be going in with very low expectations, but the way at points, some viewings sometimes are like, did I just have an inflated view of this movie because of that ending? But upon like further watches, and there's a lot we haven't mentioned Vincent Cassel,
right,
who plays the son of Armin Mueller-Stahl, and it's kind of like he's trying in some ways. What starts to happen is Viggo Mortensen becomes the son that Armin Mueller-Stahl wanted to have, not this drunk who screws up things, but he's a hothead and he tries to make himself out to be more of a man.
Yeah.
There's a reading. I don't know if you have heard of this reading of this, because there's also kind of a disturbing sequence with all these naked, all these young women who are basically sex objects for these gangsters, and
who Viggo partakes in, by the way.
But he's forced to, like, I want, and Vincent Cassel is saying, I need to watch you have sex with these women so that I know that you are not homosexual, because there's all these references, and also in that world. But hey, it does kind of come out that like this rival is kind of saying that the son is gay,
right?
And I really think there's a thing there suggesting that Vincent Cassel is in love with Viggo Mortensen.
Right.
I think it's justified. It's not me kind of being creative, and that plays into what happens in, because we've seen some dark stuff towards the end of the film. Like, this could go, we could be left with something very devastating here, but it goes in that different direction. I think it is because of that very thing that this guy is in love with, and that conversation that happens between the two of them.
Rivals, but
they're rivals for the affection of the dad. But
there's a respect.
Yeah,
there.
I just feel like, okay, he pushes this so much, like that he's not a man or whatever, but he's doing this to himself. He's projecting this on to himself. I also like the touch that, like, you know, again, that's a big spoiler about what's actually going on with this Viggo Mortensen's character, but he finds a way out for this woman that he's had sex with, and this kind of exploitive,
he feels
graphic manner.
Yeah.
He finds a way of taking care of it. But also just the details of where they drop off these bodies and these body parts, and why, oh, this is a great spot, this is the best spot to get rid of it. But no, it's sending a message to others. And I just love the details of it. It is a well-constructed, dark movie. It's not for everybody, but it certainly is for me.
And Naomi Watts, we haven't said a lot about her.
No.
Here's somebody who is boldly, strongly doing the right thing. Yeah. And initially, she doesn't realize how much danger she's putting herself in. But once she does, she presses forward anyway. Yeah. Which is why, when this altruistic, no good deed goes unpunished thing, I was really preparing myself for it to end badly for her.
Yeah. No, it's, I mean, and some of her backstory, and she's lost this relationship, and she's and she has this uncle who's kind of old world, and I guess like she had broken up with this. I think it was a black man,
Right.
and they had lost a child, and like this uncle says these racist things too, and all these pieces. But she's in such a place where she's so sad, and it's almost like trying to find. There's something satisfactory about how her story
She's
comes,
living
but
in such a bleak world,
Yeah.
and she wants to find a little win in it.
and this was the only thing she
somehow
could do.
Does.
Yeah.
She
And
manages to keep this kid alive and safe somehow.
And David Cronenberg is not known for his hopeful moments or anything, but I think it's earned. I don't think it's not. Again, it's a for your consideration movie in a way, but it's a pretty dark for your consideration movie. But it's not handled in a sentimental way, and I think there's nothing sentimental about the film. I was like, I don't know where this is going to rank because I really love this movie, and in most shows, most lists, it would be number one easily. It's kind of in the middle of this pack, but it doesn't mean I don't love it any less.
No, it's a bleak world, but it does kind of navigate you through it, and it pays off in a surprising way, and I guess to me anyway. But it's in tough company, but I think most of David Cronenberg's films are worth a look. Even the ones I don't like, I kind of enjoy wrestling with them. And this one, again, I think in the afterglow of History of Violence, kind of got a little bit underappreciated.
Yeah.
So,
but it was quite a 1-2 punch. They were within maybe a year of each other or 2 years.
Yeah,
it's well worth it.